Hello everyone, I'm back to a new game today. We're playing Drift Street Japan. Um, this game hasn't been out for very long, I don't think. Um, I just saw a video of it and I thought to look it up, and it's only £7. And I think it's really worth it for that money. Purely because there's no game like it on PC with the modification. Like, yes, like the graphics aren't anything incredible. They're nowhere near like Forza or Need for Speed kind of level, but for quite a low level game, a really cheap game, and it's a really fun game to play, they're not bad. And in this vid I'm just going to go through the main cars there are, and cars that I kind of am hoping they're going to add and would like them to add. Now I'm not a game developer of any kind. I have no idea how it works, so I'm assuming they're working on a lot of these cars that I'm probably thinking about. But yeah, so we'll start off with this first car. It's the Nissan 240SX or 200SX or 180SX. Depends where you are in the world. In the UK we call them 200SX. In America they call them the 240. I think the only difference might be the engines that they use there from here. But yeah, this one has a RB25DE, but it should be DET because it has been turboed. Got 745 brake horsepower, and you can tell the difference a lot between 150 horsepower to 700 horsepower. There's a huge difference in how easy it becomes to drift, and I quite like that. And other things you can do is you can change the offset of the wheel and the camber of the wheel, so you can see that the back has less than the front, and you can just make the fitment perfect. And something new they recently added was modifications, like bumpers, side skirts, back bumper, and spoiler. And I think that sort of is showing progression of the game, and it's good because you can just sort of fully do it how you want it to have it, and you can do colours how you want to have them, and yeah, that's quite good. But I'm guessing for copyright reasons, that's probably why on the back of the car it says XS or X backwards S 0. Well, it's all backwards basically. I reckon that's just for copyright reasons, because obviously they can't exactly get done if it's not actually called 240. The same up here, it only says S240. That's a lot of fun to drive. It's got a Skyline engine and all that. The next car is an A86 Corolla. I think it's Corolla. I can't pronounce any of the names, the real names of what they are, because for one I don't know off the top of my head, but I do know some of them. This one I've kept low power because I think it's quite a good low power drift car. The only thing I think I've really added is a spoiler, and I think maybe change the bumpers. But I stuck with the standard engine for this, the 4AGE. I think I might have put a turbo on it, I'm not entirely sure. But it's got quite low power, and it's the AE68 in-game. Again, I guess just for copyright reasons. But there is first person in this game as well, but the interiors of the car, as you can kind of see, aren't anything spectacular, but it's a nice feature. The next car is a Honda Civic, and as you can see I've quote riced it out. It's the most powerful car I think I've actually got. It's got I think it might be the engine out of the Infiniti and maybe the 370Z. I just thought, why not? We'll make it really powerful and make it ricey. The next car is a Honda S2000 with a V8 LS1 in it. I'm not really keen on the whole V8 in America, or American engines V8s in Japanese cars, but I think the S2000 suits a V8 because it's got a huge front end, and I don't know, it suits it. The sound suits it as a car, and I think everything V8 wise suits this car. That might be just because I saw a video review of one once, and sort of I just think the engine V8 suits it. The next car is the S15 Silvia. This is probably one of my dream cars in real life. I would love to get one of these at some point. Um, I've loved it ever since the first Grid game, because there was a proper drift spec one on there, and I just think they're such nice cars. I just like all the S chassis really, but I think this one stands out most to me. I just think because it just looks so modern for a 16-year-old car. And yeah, I've got the 2JZGTE in this. Not maxed out, sort of a bit refined because I think I did this earlier on. Didn't really like having too much power, so I sort of kept it low. I love the S15s. I love the 2JZ engine. So a combination of them sounds good and looks good. The RX-7, we've kept the 13B rotary in this because I don't think it's right to put anything but a rotary in a RX Mazda of any kind. But yeah, I think this is pushing max horsepower, and I mean it does sound good. It sounds kind of like a rotary, and that's what it would in real life. And I think the engine sounds of all the cars are quite good, really, considering it's a very low, I'm assuming quite a low budget game. But yeah, we've got Super Impress. I haven't done anything with this. It's got an EJ25. I don't really know much about Subarus, but the wing and the bumpers and stuff are all standard on it. Like, I haven't put them on like that. They just come with it. Yeah, I haven't done anything with this really. I haven't really driven it much either. 370. I think it's a 350. Just because of the front lights. Yeah, in the back it says 350. But I haven't really used this much either. But I don't know. I'm not too keen on these kind of cars in the real world too much really. But it is a nice car. I wouldn't refuse one if someone offered me one, but it sort of isn't on my list of cars I'd ever want to own in real life. The next we've got the GT86. I'm not a fan of this. It's a slow car in real life. I don't think it looks all that great. I mean, it's a good starter for drift car, I suppose, if you were getting into that, but there's just something about it. It doesn't really do much, because it's not a powerful car. It's a fairly slow car, really, but I suppose it's not too shabby, but I'm just not a fan, really, of it. Next we've got the R34 Skyline GTR. This I like a lot in real life and in games. So you've got the RB26D ET, because I have turboed it. In game this is a good car to drive. Overall in real life I like the R34. I like all the Skyline line really. I'm not that keen on the R35 though, purely because I think it's quite a fat car. It isn't technically even a Skyline, it's a GTR. It falls at the end of the line and people associate them together, I suppose, but as a car I'm just not that keen on it. I know it's a good car and I'll give it that, but I'm just not that big on it. I prefer the older Skylines really. The next is a Supra. I quite like how the Supra looks on here without the wing. Well, that's just got the standard 2J in it. Nothing much to say. It's a Supra. It's really good. It drifts nicely on this. It's fast. Sounds good. Yeah, that's about that. Chaser. I like the Chasers a lot. There's this guy called Monkey London on YouTube. I'm sure any of you that are into cars probably might have heard of him, but he does Japanese car reviews of cars in the UK, and he owns one of these. Not quite this same one, I don't think. I'm not sure actually. It might be the same spec as this. I'm not sure. Well, on the same model, but he's got one, and it sounds so good. If you don't know who he is, I definitely recommend looking him up because he's got some seriously good car reviews on his channel of sort of older Japanese sports cars from the 90s. So yeah, next car is the Infiniti G35, I think. I can't say I've ever seen one of these in real life. I don't know anything about it. I don't even think I've really driven it more than once in this. I think, I might be wrong, but I think this is what has the name Skyline at the moment in the world, I think, because Infiniti is a Nissan brand, and I think that might be what they moved the Skyline onto, is this. But it's got V6 in it. I'm not very keen on it as a car. I think it's quite ugly looking. The next car is the Skyline 2000 GT, GTR. I have no idea. I think it's... I don't even want to try and pronounce how the Japanese name is pronounced. It's like Hakiroku or something. That might be the wrong car. I might be thinking of an Asahi Nissan or something. I'm not entirely sure. But I put a Skyline engine in that because I think it suits it. But it's left-hand drive, strangely, considering they were never imported out of Japan to left-hand drive countries, I'm fairly certain, when they were made. Especially not America. I don't think they would have been imported to America. But yeah, the next car is the 240Z Z. I call it a Z because English. I like this car a lot in real life as well. I can't entirely remember where I first saw one of these and what made me like it so much. But for some reason I have a thing for them. I like them a lot. The older fair ladies. I just think they're good looking cars. I love the long bonnet look with the short back end. It's kind of like an E-Type in the styling of it, with the long front end and the shorter back end. So yeah, that's all of the cars for now. But I'm now going to say I'm going to name a couple of cars that I would like to see within this game in the future, and that would be, first would be the S14 Silvia. Preferably the one that sort of looks like it's got angry eyes. I don't know what the names of each of them are, but I'll post a picture on the screen of what they're like. My sister's boyfriend actually has one, and they're so nice. They make good noises. And it's fast, and I'm jealous because I want one. But yeah, the other cars would be the R32 and R33 Skylines. Purely just because they're Skylines. I like Skylines. I like Nissans a lot. What other cars would I like to see? Probably maybe an older model RX-7, and then maybe an RX-3, because I quite like the look of them, the old boxy shapes. And I know it's mainly Japanese cars they've got in this, but I kind of wouldn't mind seeing maybe some Volvos, some older like 740s, 240s, because they're rear-wheel drive, and a lot of people in Sweden and stuff have put super engines in them and made drift cars and sleeper cars out of them, and I think that would be such a cool car to see in this game. Whether it be the saloon or the estate version, I think the estate version could be quite epic. But yeah, sort of cars in that sort of era. Maybe some older BMWs, maybe. But no, definitely more Japanese, older 90s sports cars would be nice to see. Yeah, I'm not going to be gameplay really in this video. I just sort of wanted to show off what the game was like, what kind of cars it has. But I mean, if you want to see more of this game, I'll happily do some more because it's quite an enjoyable game to play and just talk over. Um, but yeah, so cards I'd want to see would definitely be an S14 because I can't think of many games other than maybe Forza 4. I've never played Forza 4, but I know that that game has the S14 on it. But that doesn't have the one I like. It's got the one that's got the sort of normal, quite round headlights over the sort of angrier look. But I've searched the internet for mods for Assetto Corsa, and there are none for an S14 that I can find. If anyone out there knows any, please feel free to let me know and link me to them because I would love to have an S14 on that game. I mean, I've got S13s, Skylines, all sorts of stuff. I just cannot find an S14. I don't know what it is about the car that people don't seem to make mods for that car, but I don't know whether it's just because it's not really a desirable car to people, maybe, and because it always seems to be S13 and S15 that get put in games, whether it be Forza or anything. It always is the S13 and S15 that seem to get put into them. So I would quite like to see an S14. So yeah, maybe the PS13 as well. Actually, the one that was like this, but the different back end and then non-pop-up headlights. Mazda MX-5 as well. That'd be fun to see in this, especially putting engines in it. Yeah, so if you've enjoyed this video, feel free to click like and subscribe. Comment and let me know if you want to see more of this game, and I will do more. I'll do some drifting in the cars, because it's a lot of fun. It's really easy with a keyboard and mouse. I would definitely recommend it to well, any of you guys really. I mean, I haven't played much of it, but it's definitely really fun to play. So yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.